look forward to our game with Texas this weekend. I certainly have a great deal of respect for Coach Brown and the Longhorn program. It's one of the top programs in all of college football. On a yearly basis, they attract elite athletes and do the job as well as anybody does in the United States. So it's an honor to have them come into our place at the Rose Bowl, and we look forward to a spirited contest, and hopefully we can play as well as we can play so that we can make it a great game for everybody to enjoy. Looking forward to seeing great improvement on both sides of the ball throughout the week. We'll have everybody available. We're fortunate that we're pretty healthy. Kevin Prince will be healthy and ready to go this week and figure in the quarterback competition, as well as Glenn Love, who missed last week's game due to a shoulder. I anticipate him being available for the contest. So looking forward to it, and anxious to get started tomorrow when we get back to practice. Questions?
Texas isn't really that good, are they?
They're pretty athletic. I mean, they're a tremendously talented football team. I think they're kind of searching with respect to who's going to be their quarterback. It sounds as if they're going to play two guys that came into the game against BYU, and hopefully we can keep them at bay. But they're certainly a very talented operation. Their defensive coordinator came from Mississippi State, and he's got a complete package, one that kind of spreads the field and lets athletes run around and make a lot of plays. They have to get a beat on where they're coming from. It'll be a tremendous challenge for our offensive line and our offense to track them and get body on body, because they make it difficult with all their different fire zones and ways to come and get the quarterback. So there's some great challenges that lie ahead, and I would never say anything other than they're a tremendously talented football team.
But having said that, if you could beat them, for the most of the public, that's a very significant victory because of the name, the reputation, and everything else.
It would be a tremendous win for our program. Yes, it would be.
So with that in mind, let's go back just 1 week here to San Jose State. What are you thinking there when it's 17-17? Are you thinking of concession speeches? Are you, I mean, that had to be a brutal moment given what your expectations are.
Yeah. At that time, all I was thinking about is how to make sure that we did everything we could to win the game. We did not play up to our expectations in that game with respect to either side of the ball, but there were some good things that came from the game that we will continue to point to. Defensively, we got to play faster, and offensively, we've got to do a better job of hitting passes that are available to us. And if we'll do that, then we will be more efficient, stay on the field as we did in the fourth quarter, and take games over. And hopefully we can figure out a way to get that accomplished as early as this week.
But how do you explain, I mean, every win is important in this program.
Right.
You're trying to get going. You had the tough week the first week. How could your team, I'm not saying you were lackluster or didn't care or anything else, but how do you not flex your superiority as in this kind of level in that game?
Well, I could sit and watch the tape with you, and you and I would both see the same thing, that we're missing some plays that we have to hit to keep drives alive. 4 of 13 on third down in a game like that costs you significantly because you turn the ball over, and now you have to, and they did a nice job of kind of controlling the clock in the first 3 quarters.
Okay, but they're not that good. So is that happening because your players aren't concentrating? They're not good enough?
We were not efficient enough last week.
What is that?
That means we didn't execute the way we're capable of executing in the throw game.
Okay, so why not?
I don't know. To answer the question, we had shown that we're capable of it in game 1. We show that we're capable of it in practice. And for whatever reason, we were not efficient as we needed to be. And we've got to continue to work to get that accomplished. But that's the nature of coaching at any level, at any team. People, on some particular occasions, don't reach the level of which you expect. And so you continue to coach, you continue to work, and you're going to eventually arrive at where you need to be.
Do you understand, though, that game was probably considered a disappointment by most people?
I understand that we did not play up to our expectations. We won the game. I'm pleased for that, and never going to ever disrespect an opponent or disrespect the game to ever say that a victory isn't satisfying. But we can play better, and we need to play better as early as this week.
Since no one else is asking a question, did you not talk to the crowd because you were afraid they weren't there when you turned around?
No. The reason I decided not to speak to the crowd this year was because it became a distraction. You know, it became a story within a story. When I came into the press conference inside, that was always, what did I say to the crowd, and why was I talking to the crowd, and so forth. And my feeling all along when talking to the crowd was, I'm appreciating their participation at the ball games. I'm appreciating their loyalty to our program, and I wanted them to know that all was not lost in days when things didn't go well, and how much we appreciated them on days that it did.
Why would you be against the media carrying that message to all those other UCLA fans who weren't sitting there at that moment?
Because the media wasn't carrying that message. The media was making it more about me and my conversation. It wasn't about the content of what I was saying. And so therefore, it became, to me, a distraction. And I talked about it with my bosses, and they both agreed that that was probably the prudent thing to do. When and if I feel the need to go and speak to the group, the fans that are so supportive of our program, I will be happy to go back and share it. And that's not just because we had a big win. If I feel like I need to go explain something or tell them how I'm feeling, I'll be happy to do it. But I don't think it needs to be on a regular basis any longer. It was a distraction to the program. It became too much of a thing. And you know, I was being asked about it not only in press conferences but on radio programs, and it just became something I didn't think we needed to continue because it was something.
You have to give the gap. I wouldn't think it would be something that you couldn't handle.
You certainly know me well enough to know I can handle it. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't have done it for 3 seasons if I didn't think I could handle it. I just didn't think it was necessary to keep it going so that just for the sake of keeping it going. If there's
You're not concerned that it had become negative because the success hadn't been there and it was not looking all that good, and you would go over there and...
No, I made the decision I wasn't going well before the game. I made the decision well before, and you can verify that with my superiors. But no, it's just something that I felt like it was becoming more than it should be. It was always, for me, an attempt to let the fans feel closer to our program and feel where I was coming from, whether it was disappointment or euphoria. And because it became a story within a story, I just felt like it was more about me than what I was really the message that I was trying to convey. And I just didn't feel that was the necessary thing to do, and I talked about it, and had I been persuaded otherwise, I would have continued. But
because people were making fun of your message that you were giving?
No, I don't think it was anything about being made fun of. You sit in this chair, you're going to have people make fun of you, you're going to have people disagree with you, you're going to have people vilify you, you're going to have all that. That's part of the occupation. You're also going to get to have one of the great experiences of your life because you get to coach great young men, and you've got a great fan base of loyal supporters who believe that great things are in store and right around the corner. So it's you got to have thick skin, but you also have to understand that there's a lot of great things that come with this.
This is all about taking away a story from us.
No. No, it was after deadline anyway. You couldn't have written this one anyway.
Absolutely. That was the best week to talk. No one would listen.
Didn't you also feel that this would have been the same thing by saying this was a distraction, the monopoly is over? Didn't that have the same effect? And would you have asked to have that pulled because that would obviously became...
You're talking about the first year I was here?
Yeah.
I had nothing to do with that ad. I've been on record a long time saying that had nothing to do with me.
No, but I'm saying that's the distraction like this is. Wouldn't you have gone even though it wasn't your...
It had already run.
It was continuing to run, though.
Well, I'm not. Once it had run, I mean, it was done. There was nothing for me to do other than back it and say we want the monopoly to be over. That's absolutely where we want to be.
But the quarterback situation, is the not naming a starter because you want to keep your cards close to your vest, like you said, or is it because you don't know what you have, or what's kind of thinking on that?
My thinking is that I've got two quarterbacks, and I'll let you know when it's appropriate as to who's going to be in. But you'll be able to see. Both are going to be ready to play.
Do you know who the starter is right now in your head?
Not absolutely.
Really?
No, I need to make sure everything is as I think it is, and then we'll know.
So you need to know for sure that Prince is healthy and doesn't have any ramifications from the concussion.
That's your perception of the situation. Chris already tried to hit me on his perception.
There was a question mark at the end of that.
That sounded like a statement.
I talk funny.
You're asking if Kevin's going to be the starter. Is that the question now?
If you are waiting, no.
No.
If you're waiting to find out whether Kevin is.
I need to know if Kevin is healthy, if he's going to be considered as part of the starting.
So I'm right then. You're just basically saying the same thing.
I didn't hear the question in your statement. But if that was a question, I'll need to know if Kevin is healthy before he is considered to be the starter.
Okay. Have you talked to Lasorda now? Is he going to talk to the team?
He's going to talk on Saturday morning.
Saturday morning?
Yep. I'm excited for Tommy to have a chance to meet with the boys.
Did you give him any hints on what to say, or?
Tommy usually has a good idea of what to say, and I trust him with the team. Having had his kind of experiences and his kind of gift with words, I think he'll be quite eloquent.
Are you worried that now that you're not talking to the crowd, he might go over there after the game?
He is welcome to.
Take your place?
He is welcome to be that person if he'd like.
Are you worried that not having a quarterback is starting to be a distraction for the team, not having continuity?
Not for our team. It might be a distraction for y'all, but it's not for our team. They have full confidence in both those kids, and if Brett Hundley gets called, they'll have full confidence in him.
Rick, I don't know if anyone asked, the fourth down and 2 in the first series against San Jose State.
Right.
Did you consider?
I considered it, and we'd stopped them on the opening drive, and it's early in the game, and we can kick them down. I was hoping we'd get further than the 20. I was trying to pin them down inside the 10, and Jeff Locke usually count on that kind of stuff. And I said, it's early in the game, let's pin it back and get it back. Let's not give any momentum early in the game if you're unsuccessful on fourth down. But I'm not shy from going for it on fourth down. I just didn't think at that point in the game it was necessary.
I know you made it clear that your tirade against your team was just, it was nothing that, you weren't suggesting they don't care. It was just that moment when you were talking to your team.
Right.
But as you're standing there Saturday night and that San Jose State game is going the way it is, are you questioning whether or not you got the right group here, that your expectations for success?
That has never been a question of mine. No, I think we've got the right mettle in the program. I think we've got the right character in the program. We just have to get them to play faster and play with the kind of skill that they possess on a more consistent basis.
That sounds like it's coaching.
We have to accept responsibility for that as well. I mean, we're all in this together. If they're not executing,
But are you doing a good job coaching now?
I believe we are. Absolutely. I know we're working as hard as we can possibly work to get it done.
But you can see the quest for a solution or an answer to, we understand that how important the Houston game was, okay, it goes that way. Then you're supposed to come out and squash somebody so you can get your momentum going for the next game. And if people are watching that, they're going, what the hell's going on? When are they going to show that they can play football? So that raises more questions than it provides any kind of motivation to believe it was taking place.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd go as far as you're going. I think that we can certainly play better, and I think we will play better. I think we'll play better this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it.
But you thought that last week too.
That we'd play better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we did defensively. We just did not offensively. We took a step backwards in the throw game, which surprised me. I didn't think we would do that. And we've got to look at ourselves and figure out exactly why that happened and make sure that it doesn't happen again.
But hasn't your defense been a disappointment so far? You made the change there, and there's certain things they still can't do?
Well, the defense hasn't played up to what the level that we expect them to play. That's fair to say. Week 1, we didn't tackle well. Week 2, we tackled better. We gave up some uncharacteristic big plays. We've got to do a better job with our eyes, meaning taking on blockers, not just watching ball carriers, and making sure that we keep our leverage. Those are important things with every great defense, and we'll keep working and keep harping it. And we've been getting good practices. Now we've got to get it in games. And I believe that we'll do that. And the second component is just playing fast and not sitting and worrying, but getting after it. And I believe that we've got the wherewithal to get that accomplished as well, both from a coaching standpoint and from an athlete standpoint.
But this is a tremendous opportunity. You're taking on a named program, as you said, searching.
Oh, it's a great opportunity.
Because they've got quarterback issues with two kids who have hardly any experience. I guess you're starting a freshman running back. I mean, they're starting over essentially, it sounds like.
Well, regardless of the circumstances surrounding their internal situation, it's a great opportunity to play a program like Texas. And to play them in this kind of stage is what college football is all about. And so we look forward to that, no question. And as an opportunity for our program to take a step forward and develop some confidence and to develop into what we all hope to achieve and believe that we will achieve, there's no question this is a great opportunity.
Rick, it seems like the one glaring aspect of all of your unit, offensive defense that isn't doing very well is your rush defense at this point. I mean, you're 11th among Pac-12 schools. Is there, and it doesn't seem like you're getting a push, you haven't had a tackle for loss yet. Is there something up front that's not happening that you would like to see change?
Well, I think what's happening, first of all, in week one, we were playing against a spread out offense, and so you weren't going to have a lot of tackles for loss against that quarterback because of his ability to get the ball out of his hands. We did have the sack in that game, right? Cassius had the sack, and then we in week two we let the ball get outside of us too often in some of the zone read schemes that they did. That we let people, and we're eyeing the ball carrier rather than eyeing the block, and we've got to make sure that we keep our leverage and keep the ball contained inside. And if we can do that, then those tackles for losses will come. Can we get more push? Certainly, and we'll keep looking to do that. But as I told you at the outset of the season, I believe that we have the personnel to make those kind of plays. And I believe that our personnel, as we gain more comfort in this system and continue to believe in the system and get our pad level to the place and our eyes where they're supposed to be and our confidence so that we can react, I think you're going to see all those things change. In the course of this last game where they had 200 yards rushing, three of them came on 3 carries. One was a cover 0 where we just didn't, we took a gamble and the safety didn't fit it correctly, and we gave up the 70-yard run or 60-yard run, whatever it was.
Yeah, in terms of the push, it just seemed like when you stopped San Jose State running, they still pushed 3 or 4 yards. It just didn't seem like you're getting much of a push from your interior defensive line.
Well, again, we'll continue to work on that. My concern right now is to play fast and to make sure that our guys are where they're supposed to be and they're doing everything they can to get to the ball, but respecting where they are with gap integrity.
Are you putting your rule breaker back at center?
He's going to compete for the job. Compete for the job. Greg Capella had a great week, and we want competition at that job. And so Kai will come back, and we'll see exactly who gives us the best chance to play that position as well as it can be played.
Was I wrong? People telling me that that was your best offensive lineman before he broke the rules?
Well, he's an experienced offensive lineman, and he's very intelligent. But we were really pleased with Greg Capella, and that's not to say Kai won't play. It's just to say that we do have guys now a reason for some competition at the position, which is great. It helps us.
Did you say very intelligent? You break the rules.
Well, he wasn't. That was a poor decision. There's no question about it. But he's a very intelligent young man.
Could Capella or Scheller move to strong side guard? Is that a possibility?
Alberto Sid had a nice game at the strong side guard. We still believe in Chris Ward, but certainly with Baca back, you have opportunities with both Capella and Scheller to create some matchups in there and find your best 5 and create some depth. It's maybe I want to knock on wood before it almost sounds like we have some depth there, but which has been unusual.
You said in regard to the defense that in not playing fast, you don't want them to sit around and worry. What are they worried about? Are they getting worried about getting beat up big plays? What are they?
I don't know. I don't know what goes through your mind. It keeps you from running at full tilt. You know, you're worried about am I in the right place and so forth. It's still in the the conscious. It's got to get to the point of the subconscious where you can just go and what your eyes tell you, you react and you play. And every defensive coordinator in the country will tell you that all they want their defenses to do is play fast. And right now we're still a little hesitant, and we've just got to get that. And in practice we don't see it; it's in games, and so we've just got to get through that barrier that's causing that to happen.
And that's not coachable, right?
It's coachable. I mean, but you coach it in practice, and then you need to see it now in games. And again, getting back to that competition thing, if guys aren't doing it in games, then we need someone else to go in and prove that they can. And that's part of coaching.
So there are a lot of spots up for grabs then this week?
We're going to make sure that everybody understands that that these jobs are always open. That's why we talked about competition at center. That's why we're talking about competition at quarterback. We're talking about competition. We've got to have guys playing their tails off during the week so that we can expect that kind of effort and that kind of execution on Saturdays.
Coach Tracy's scheme faster than Coach Boland's was? Is that part of the problem, that they weren't asked to play that fast last week?
Well, it doesn't matter what scheme you're in defensively. You have to play fast. It may be that there's some still residual newness to the scheme that's causing us to do that. I think it's probably more likely that it's some relatively inexperienced players that are just not playing at the game tempo that we need to play at and can play at and look forward to playing at here as quickly as this weekend.
You know, we always know you're gung-ho and all that kind of good stuff. But is there any sense of worrying right now? Because the way the season's going, you know, there's certain moments that you know are very pivotal. You know, we started with the first game.
Right.
Had the second game gone 40-0, then we would be having a different tone here probably, but it didn't. So now.
Probably.
Yes, I'm not going to say definitely.
The point of the matter is we would still be at this place saying that this is a pivotal game and that
But
this
the
is a
perception,
great opportunity.
You know that more than anybody, the perception rules today, okay?
Right?
So that's even what the Houston game did to you. Is the difference between a win or a loss is perception in terms of how this year and your future and everything else is going to unfold here in this
Right.
program.
Right.
And so that's why this non-conference game, because of who you're playing, becomes so important.
And becomes a great opportunity,
Right.
as we've talked about, right?
So I'm asking you, you know, I get curious when you change, you know, in any way, shape, or form. Not talking to the crowd was a change, which suggests maybe you're getting a little tight or not.
I promise you it's not about tight. It has nothing to do with tight. I told you, you just mentioned how important perception is.
Yep.
The perception of that was more, it was because of the conversations that we had from a standpoint of being asked about it as often as I was during the last season. It became more that I was thinking it was more about me. It's about our team. And that's why I didn't
But it
want it
wasn't
to be.
about you. It's the head coach walking over to the crowd and talking to them from his point of view about where we are as a program. Stick with us, or, you know, thanks for being here, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm missing the point. I don't understand. I'm not buying your explanation yet, and I know you don't care about that, but I'm not buying it. There seems to be something different here.
It has nothing to do with anything different. I just thought that was becoming more of a distraction than what I was gaining from the conversation with the fans. And it became something that Neuheisel is trying to buy our good favor by begging for it and after ball games and so on and so forth. And I said, you know what, that's hogwash. That has nothing to do with it. I'm talking to the real live Bruin fans and explaining it as such. And if it's too big a deal, then we'll stop.
You
It's
knew
no
it was a
big-
big deal from the beginning, though. You knew that. I mean, it's different, so you knew it.
It wasn't different for me because when I was at Washington, every game there was what they called the fifth quarter, and I talked to the 1,500 people inside the indoor arena. And I gave them the spiel and answered questions about the game and so on and so forth. So it had zero to do with being different. I wasn't trying to take a stage that was different than what I'd done before. So I just felt like it just was becoming too much of an issue and decided that, and after, again, talking to my superiors, they thought the same.
Did they initiate those conversations?
No, it was my idea. I asked the question, is this still worth it, or what do you think?
Was it an emphatic no right away?
No, they understood my concern, and they said, you know, it's probably wise.
What makes this game so pivotal?
You know, it's as TJ suggests, it's a marquee program, And, you know, because of the perception of our program and such, to come out and play a great game against a marquee program and to find a way to win it will put at ease those folks that are concerned about where we are and so on and so forth. And at least we have to play as well as we possibly can. Certainly Texas is hugely talented and so forth, but we have to play a great spirited contest. And I think our guys will. I think our coaches are excited about the challenge, and I know that Texas is as motivated as we are, so it should be a way of a ball game.
You're talking about your defense playing quicker. Kendricks and Zumwalt were your two leading tacklers. Are they embodying that, or are they the type of players?
Yeah, both of those guys play fast, but they got to play more disciplined, you know, and be where they're supposed to be with respect to the defense called. Again, neither one of them's played a lot since they've been here, and so that we expect them to continue to get better, and we'll keep coaching them hard and hopefully get that kind of speed on the field on a more regular basis.
You're more confident going into this Texas game than maybe you did last Texas game because you just beat them last year?
You know, I'm confident that we're going to get a great effort. I'm confident that we will have a great week of practice. I know our kids are excited about it. I know that we'll be excited when we take the field on Saturday afternoon. And, you know, what that leads to, we'll wait and see. I'm not worried about the outcome as much as I'm just really excited about practicing and getting better as a football team, and we'll take what comes on Saturday.
Yeah, will Sorta come into the stadium, or is he going to meet with you before you come over here?
He's going to be at the hotel.
The hotel?
Yeah, right before we get on the buses.
Okay.
Can you talk about your preparation for these two quarterbacks? You obviously don't have much information about either of them. Does that put
We just watched them play against BYU. You know, the book on him is that the youngster is more of a, quote, athlete guy. They've got a kind of a zone read series for him. Got some, you know, well-designed plays that have option reads for him. And, you know, they had a wide receiver pass where they threw it down the field to him. So they see him as that kind of athlete. And with McCoy, it's more of the traditional offense that you've seen Texas and now Boise State, who the new coordinator comes from Boise State, does more of the in the pocket stuff, not so much of the running athlete type of quarterback play that you might see with the youngster.
Did they play him the whole last drive, or did they still alternate?
They alternated. The youngster had kind of a package of plays,
Right.
and McCoy looked like, obviously he's been in the program longer, was at command of more of the offense as you watch it. Now, with another week to practice, you got to know that they'll have a chance to have more for that the young guy. Is it Ash?
David Ash.
David Ash, yeah.
What were you able to do last year to Gilbert to throw him off his game?
Well, you know, we changed up some coverages and we got some pressure. You know, early in the game we got to him, caused a fumble. Didn't result in points for us, but it rattled him a little bit, and obviously it was a big day for our defense because we caused so many turnovers. The pivotal turnover probably being on special teams when they fumbled the punt, and we recovered it deep in their territory and resulted in a touchdown.
Are both these guys more mobile than Gilbert was last year?
I would say probably both are, yes.
So it'll be a little more of a challenge to get same kind of pressure on them?
Given the athleticism, I'd say that's probably accurate.
You got to make playing two young quarterbacks. You can't ask for a better situation.
Well, we like the chance that we get to play Texas. We're looking forward to playing Texas, and I know Texas is looking forward to playing UCLA.
Forward to playing, and this is the right time to play that kind of team.
Well, let's hope you're right.
With the way you guys were able to run on them last year, do you expect them to be stacking box?
This is a completely different defense. You know, same personnel, but completely different schematically. And so, last year's tape can be helpful from looking at the different people, but they're in such different arrangements and configurations this year that really you have to study more Mississippi State tape than you do last year's Texas tape.
This is another chance for your defense, which had it in the San Jose State game, to really demonstrate what you talked about from the very beginning of the season, that they should be a strength here, which they have yet to demonstrate.
Exactly. I think that's fair. Yep. It's a great opportunity for our defense. Anything else? Well, thank you.